Hello again. Good to see you. So today I'm going to be talking about the adrenal glands and adrenal fatigue and adrenaline and all the issues that surround that. The adrenal glands are little bits of tissue that sit right above the kidneys, and they produce hormones like adrenaline, cortisol, and they also produce hormones that regulate sex hormones like estrogen and testosterone. So they're pretty important. And we need adrenaline. It's helped us to survive, and it's a wonderful thing. But too much of a good thing is not always great. So if there's too much adrenaline in the body, it can be very hard on the organs, especially the liver, and hard on the brain. So we want to be careful how we treat the adrenals. And I'll tell you how to do that in a little bit. There are 56 different adrenaline blends according to Anthony William. And our body produces them, the adrenals specifically produce them whenever we need them. And here's a few things that we need them for. When we take a shower, when we go to the bathroom, when we get bad news, a specific blend is produced by the adrenals. When we fall in love, if we have a heartbreak, when we're exercising, when we're dreaming, when we're driving, when we jump into the water, we produce a specific blend of adrenaline from the adrenals. And when we play sports. Some of the things that can cause adrenal fatigue are emotional turmoil, some kind of emotional turmoil, long term. And it does take some time for you to develop adrenal fatigue. It doesn't just happen for a short little thing. It has to be ongoing and pervasive type of turmoil going on in your life. And it's really hard when you've, gone through something and your adrenals are just producing these blends that come into your body, and it's really hard to know what to do about that. And then when you get adrenal fatigue, which I had, I had adrenal fatigue mixed with neurological fatigue, and I could barely get out of bed for many months. And then even after that, I couldn't really function on a day-to-day basis. So I know how hard that is, but there is a fix for it. So if you have long-term emotional turmoil, it exhausts the adrenals and it damages them because they're just pumping and pumping and pumping all these blends out all the time. And some different things can happen when they get exhausted and damaged. And one of the things is they can underproduce their blends. And even one of your adrenals can overproduce and another one will underproduce. So they're just working really hard to do what needs to be done. One of the times that our body really calls on the adrenals is when we have eaten fat in a meal, oils or fats. The adrenaline comes into the body and tries to thin the blood, because if the blood gets too thick, it's going to hurt the heart. So the body is trying to protect the heart and the brain from the fat. And another time it comes in is if you have gone too long without eating. It tries to take over for the glucose that you're missing out on. It keeps you going, but again, you're adrenals are working hard, and we want to keep them calm and happy. Another thing that's caused by too much adrenaline in the system is depression. And the reason for this is because the adrenaline goes up into the brain and burns out the dopamine neurotransmitters. And that's why we don't feel good anymore, because our dopamine is all used up. So I'm going to read a list of some of the symptoms of adrenal fatigue. Weakness, lack of energy, trouble concentrating, becoming easily confused, forgetfulness. A lot of times people think they're getting forgetful with old age or as they're getting older, and that's just not the case. It's not a normal thing to become forgetful and confused as you get older. Trouble completing basic tasks. I even had that. It was very difficult just driving around. If I tried to drive somewhere, I could barely remember where I was going or what turns to take, and it was terrible. A hoarse voice, poor digestion, constipation, depression, insomnia, not feeling rested in the morning even though you've gotten a good night's sleep. Weight gained around the middle is from adrenaline. If you have too much cortisol abruptly, it destroys the liver's glucose, glycogen, and iron stores. Just boom, it's gone. It also hurts the pancreas, the nervous system, and the brain. And then too little cortisol can create problems too. It can cause a thyroid hormone shortage. And there's some symptoms that go along with that too. And if you'd like further information, more in depth, you can always go to the Medical Medium books by Anthony William. There's wonderful information in there about adrenal fatigue. So you can always replace hormones with medications. They have that. It's a good short-term thing to do while you're healing your adrenals. But it doesn't address the fluctuations that we need throughout the day, the ups and downs, the different things that we're doing, like taking showers and playing sports or falling in love. We have different needs throughout the day, so taking a pill once a day or twice a day doesn't really address that. And they also weaken the immune system. So the number one best thing you can do to heal your adrenals is to eat using the grazing technique. And I'll tell you what that is. You have light and balanced meals every 90 minutes to 2 hours during the day. And this keeps the glucose nice and steady throughout the day. And by light and balanced, I mean having something with potassium in it, something with glucose in it, and something with sodium in it. Just those three things, and it goes through your whole body, and it tells the adrenals, we don't need you. You're okay. Just you sit there and heal and relax, and we'll be fine without you. So an example of a nice balanced snack is a date that has potassium in it, celery that has sodium in it, and an apple that has glucose in it. So you've got all three things. Another one is avocado, spinach, and an orange. Some of the foods that heal adrenal fatigue are sprouts, asparagus, wild blueberries, bananas, garlic, broccoli, kale, raspberries, blackberries, romaine lettuce, and red-skinned apples. And those are all in the books, the Medical Medium books. as are the supplements. There's some supplements that are really good to take if you have adrenal fatigue. If you have an overabundance of adrenaline from the adrenals, it also feeds EBV, which is the Epstein-Barr virus. It's like spinach to Popeye, is how Anthony William puts it. It tells, the stress hormones that you produce tell the Epstein-Barr virus that you're in a weakened state and it's ready to attack. It's time for it to do its thing and come out of hibernation and just start causing havoc in your body. Shingles is another thing that absolutely loves stress hormones in the body, and it'll come out of hiding too. So one of the things I wanted to do in my videos was have a thought for the day. And the thought for this day is, think about this. There's an investor behind every single study that you hear about. Somebody's paying money, and it's not out of the goodness of their heart. They have a stake in the game, and they want the study to go a certain way, and they're not going to pay all that money to have the study come out negatively for them. They want it to come out in a way where they are going to be able to make money in the future, like with drugs, some kind of drug that they're going to produce that they're going to charge a lot of money for and get you to pay for. So that's a really important thing to know. And in a future video, I'm going to talk about adrenaline and how it has to do with addiction. Every addiction that you can imagine comes down to adrenaline. And I'll be talking about that. And if anybody has any requests for videos that you'd like to see, please let me know in the comments, and subscribe and like and share and comment, and let me know that you'd like to keep seeing these videos, because I'd like to keep doing them, but I'm not sure if I'm cut out for it or not. You take care, and thank you for your time and your attention, and I'll see you next time. Happy healing.